What's up, you guys? Sam Dog, the infamous 253 coming at you guys with Dallas Stewart on the speakerphone. Dallas, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Yep. So in the final week of regular season, Dallas, you went 11-5, and I went 10-6, and we both have officially clinched home field advantage in Yinzer Mac's pick competition that we've been part of for a few years. So, yep, we both got the home field advantage, but you got the top seed. All right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for real. And I got seed number two, to be honest, too. That's so you and me both got the top seeds. All right, bring it on now. We got the 2024 Super Wild Card Weekend picks for the 2024 season. And obviously, since we're in the year 2025 now, but this is for still technically the 2024 season. First off, Wild Card Saturday. We got the Los Angeles Chargers going to Houston to take on the Houston Texans. The Los Angeles Chargers last week before coming into this, they took down the Las Vegas Raiders with ease, and the Houston Texans took down the Tennessee Titans with their backups. But man, this season for both these teams, Jim Harbaugh, what he's done with the Chargers this year, really impressive. And the way Justin Herbert's been playing and the way that defense has been playing to get them to this point. And then the Houston Texans, they kind of were Jekyll and Hyde and kind of in obviously a suspect AFC South, if you would agree on that one.
Yeah.
Because you've said it before. The Tex has been looking real suspect in this one lately coming into the playoff picture. But for this one coming around with this game, sorry, I didn't have anything else set up. Let me just grab the other thing that I got. Oh, yeah, I need someone to write with a pencil on there. My bad. Sorry about that. But yep, this is kind of an easy choice one. This one could be a good game, but I'm going to take the Los Angeles Chargers to go into Houston and get the road win over the Texans. Give me the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, give me the Chargers as well to keep it rolling. I mean, their offense has been really clicking like the last three games, and Houston's just been so inconsistent, and I just can't trust them. And I just feel like they've regressed this year. Last year they blow out Cleveland in the wild card round. They hang with Baltimore for a half, and I thought they would take that next step, but I just haven't seen it this year.
No, agreed. All right. Up next, AFC North rivalry renewed in the playoffs. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The Steelers lost their regular season finale to the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Baltimore Ravens just absolutely smoked the Cleveland Browns as we expected, lived up to the lock of the week. Russell Wilson's really got to get it going this week, and they looked absolutely cold in that game. Their defense, freaking, I cannot believe that they struggled that much with Joe Burrow, and they almost came back in that game, but they blew it ultimately in the end. They almost came back.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
couldn't they couldn't get into field goal range on the final drive.
yeah. Ooh, this is an easy pick. Give me the Baltimore Ravens. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna take the Ravens also as one of my locks for as my lock of Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens as well. The Steelers are just in a downward spiral right now, and their offense has been struggling during this four-game uh, losing streak, and I just can't see them going into Baltimore and pulling it off.
Ravens fans are gonna be rowdy. You know that place is always a tough
I
place to
think the
play.
Ravens will win the rubber match.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, the Steelers won match one in the regular season with just those field goals, and then the Ravens got their revenge on Christmas. And yep, Ravens. I agree with you. Ravens get the rubber match here. All right. Up next, we got the Sunday slate. First off, we got the Denver Broncos going to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. Bills rested starters last week, lost to New England. Granted, they were resting the starters, and the Denver Broncos played a Chiefs team resting all their starters. So the Chiefs pretty much let them in. I think they let them in knowing that they would have to go to Buffalo
Yeah,
and they would get the seventh seed. And Bo Nix has been quite impressive. I will say, Nix has been impressive. The Denver defense has been impressive. Buffalo, obviously, rested their starters. Von Miller, that whole entire defense, and then of course their offense. Their offense is really what makes them special. Josh Allen, Keon Coleman, the rookie. I think that's his name, right?
yeah.
And then frickin' James Cook. They got weapons all around the place. Even Mac Wilson the Bills are I think the Bills are way too much for this Broncos defense. And Denver, I mean, it was great. The Chiefs let you in on this one, but unfortunately, you're going to be one and done. Give me the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, give me Buffalo as well. I think it's going to be a tall task for Denver to pull this one off. Going on the road, rookie quarterback, hostile environment. I think the Bills have too much firepower on offense. I do think Denver will give them a game for about a half, and then I just think Buffalo will take over after that.
Agreed. Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the 7 seed Green Bay Packers going to the 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles, a rematch from Sao Paulo, Brazil in week one. I remember that game. Saquon Barkley, it was close for a while, but Saquon Barkley went off in his Philadelphia Eagles debut the last time these two teams played in Brazil. Green Bay Packers lost their last game to the Chicago Bears, even when they weren't resting starters. That was crazy that they lost to Chicago in Lambeau Field. And then the Philadelphia Eagles were resting the stars, but they won that game pretty easily against the New York Giants. Granted, it was only by 7, even with Tanner McKee. But now Jalen Hurts is back, pretty much. Jalen Hurts is well rested. They're going to be ready. Saquon, and I'll tell you what, I think Saquon's going to rip up the Packers again. And like you mentioned before, this is a pretty easy one. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles lock of the week.
Yeah, give me the Eagles. My This will be my wild card lock. I just don't see how Green Bay pulls this one off. They're just outmatched and undermanned right now. And Jordan Love's going to be playing a little bit banged up, and they lost Christian Watson for the year, and they limped going into the playoffs. And they haven't done very well against playoff teams this year. So, yeah, I think the Eagles will win this one rather easily.
No 7 seed moving on to the next round like last year when Green Bay kicked the crap out of Dallas last year. This time around, this is an early exit for Green Bay.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, we got an interesting one. We got the Washington Commanders going to Tampa Bay to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Commanders played Jaden Daniels for a little bit and then rested them and got the win over the Cowboys with Marcus Mariota. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Evans, congratulations. 11 straight seasons, all 11 years with 1,000 receiving yards, tying Jerry Rice for all time on that. Mike Evans is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Let's be real on that.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's incredible. I mean, Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield definitely has a home in Tampa, and Baker's been playing lights out. Jaden Daniels, he's my for Washington on the Washington side of it. He's my pick for offensive rookie of the year. You know he's going to be playing this game, and I remember the first matchup earlier in the year. Tampa Bay kicked the crap out of him earlier in the season too.
Yeah, way back in week one.
Yeah. But I think this time around, I think Jaden Daniels is ready for him. I think the Commanders are ready for the Bucks. Bobby Wagner's ready too. That defense and then freaking their offense with Terry McLaurin and some of the weapons they got. Jaden Daniels, who should be the unanimous rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year, in my opinion, playing lights out. I think this time around, this could be different. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to actually take the Washington Commanders to go into Tampa and knock the Buccaneers out of the playoffs. I think it'll be an interesting game. It might be close, but I'm going to take the Commanders to pull it off.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go with Washington as well to pull off the slight upset. Tampa is still the product of a bad division, and they did not look good at all last week against New Orleans, even though they won. I mean, same with Washington. I just kind of like Washington's momentum right now, and I think they pick up their first playoff win since '05. Also, it was against the Buccaneers. This is also a rematch of the 2020 wild card game when
Tom Brady beat them.
they had to hold on and survive, and then they ended up on their way to winning Super Bowl 55. So, yeah.
All right. So
This is a tricky one. This is a tricky one, though, because Tampa, the
Tampa's
first time they lit up that defense, and Washington's defense is still suspect.
yeah, they kind of are too. They did light them up. That'll be interesting to see, but I think this is one of the best games of the weekend for sure. And it's the nightcap for
Yeah.
Saturday. All right, last but not least, the Monday night game. We got a rematch from one of the controversial finishes this year. We got the Minnesota Vikings going back to LA to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Minnesota Vikings though got smoked by the Detroit Lions. which is why they're the 5 seed. And the Los Angeles Rams rested their starters against the Seahawks last week. And I tell you what, this time around, Minnesota was hope even if they didn't get past Detroit, they wanted another matchup with the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even though the last few years, I'll tell you what, the last few weeks, I should say, the Rams defense was playing suspect and playing down to competition. I think they might regret resting their starters against us. They really should have tried to play their starters and try to complete the sweep of us to try to get a higher seed and get a favorable matchup with Washington, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, a matchup with Washington would have been much more favorable for the Rams. I know they beat the Vikings earlier this season, but it was a bullshit missed call when Sam Darnold obviously got his face mask ripped on that play, and they gave the Rams a safety when it should have been a face mask and a fresh set of downs for the Vikings, giving them a legit chance. The Vikings want, they want revenge on this one. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take the Minnesota Vikings to go and get revenge on Los Angeles. Give me the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Minnesota to bounce back after losing last week. I think they get their revenge on the Rams because the Rams, before they rested their starters, they were looking. Their offense was struggling those three previous games before they played us, and their defense did not look good that last week. I know they were playing some backups on defense, but they're going to face a real test this week.
Yeah.
Although Sam Darnold has to play a lot better.
Oh yeah, he had no
He
touchdowns
played
last week.
horrible last
He
week.
had no touchdowns against Detroit, and Detroit's defense showed up, and Detroit's starting to get healthy. And heck,
Minnesota's offense has to show up. Although they'll be one and done like they were 2 years ago when they lost to the Giants at home.
oh yeah, for sure. That Justin Jefferson needs to come up big. Addison has to come up big. Aaron Jones needs to come
Yeah,
up big.
probably one of the biggest toss ups of the weekend, I would say.
Oh yeah, and you know what else is crazy? Next week, from what I heard in the news, I heard the Lions are going to be possibly getting David Montgomery back next week for the divisional.
Yeah.
That'll be a huge get back for Detroit. All right, so there you have it. These are our wild card picks. Chargers over Texans, Ravens over Steelers, Bills over Broncos, Eagles over Packers, Commanders over Buccaneers, and Vikings over Rams. Drop your picks down below, and we will catch you guys later. If you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. As always, go Seahawks.